You sneaky. You're running as an outsider.
I am an outsider.
Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Come on! Come on! Really?
Do you smoke crack cocaine?
Exactly.
Let's give the people what they came for.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Mr. Prime Minister, will there always be a Canada?
There will always be a Canada.
All right, elbows out.
Elbows up.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here! Get them out of here! Get the hell out of here!
Enough with the woke shit.
So the answer to that is to stop being stupid.
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Get your spectral sock out, nerds. It's gonna get good.
Is the federal government stealing from us? Are they sabotaging our industry? Are they taking us down the path to communism? Are they censoring us? Are they stealing our guns from us? Come on, let's go!
Let's fucking go.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unhinged Fringe here on the channel Wednesday nights. What a show we have lined up for you tonight. It is going to be crazy, absolutely crazy. We have a lot to go over. We got to talk about the G7. We got to talk about Danielle Smith and what's happening in Alberta. We also got to have a sit and a chit chat over censorship because yes, this channel and many others could be disappearing from YouTube as soon as those bills are pushed through. That could be catastrophic for those who rely on YouTube to get their independent journalist news. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. I know things are great over here. Lot to discuss. Look at you guys in the chat. Look, you guys are just already moving. C9 passed in the House today. Did it officially pass? I hadn't seen that. Yikes. Well, I guess I'll see you all in the gulags. Let's get a roll call going on. Let me know where you're at in the chat while we're still here. And let's see where everybody's watching from. What do we got here? Look at this. Look, oh, it's flooding. It's flooding. Mystic Meow coming in from Calgary. Hockey fans coming in from Calgary once again. We got Kelly coming in from Rimby. We got Tracy coming in from Rocky View. Welcome in. Major Flip coming in from Tennessee. We got Rex coming in from Northwest Arkansas. Welcome in. We've got Sanjali joining us from Lethbridge. Carol and Gerald coming in from Calgary as well. Squids coming in from Calgary. We got Quantum Life coming in from Wildwood. Wesley Snipes is coming in from Lethbridge as well. Guy Hodgins coming in from Medicine Hat. We got Eric in from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome in. I love our Americans. I always got to say it. We love our Americans. Vox is joining us from Niagara Falls. Mystical still on the roof.
Did you forget somebody?
I was going to bring you in. I was having fun.
Oh.
I was having
You
fun.
usually bring me in before the roll
You're
call.
such a buzzkill.
Oh, sorry. Listen,
Matt's joining us on the show.
Listen. Diana Fox Carney is a man. Am I right?
Here we go. You're going to get me kicked off this platform already. Lynn coming in from Calgary. Jason coming in from Slave Lake. David Brewer is joining us from Springfield, Missouri. We got Elaine coming in from Cochrane. DVAD coming in from DC.
God.
Is that DC?
I don't know.
T from Edmonton. December Gems coming in from Brazo County. Wildflowers coming in from Edmonton. What else do we got here? We got Chris coming in from Airdrie. Derek coming in from Carson City, Nevada as well. We've got Charlie Free Alberta coming in from Lethbridge as well. We got My First Amendment Right coming in from New York. We've got 18 Plus coming in from Lloyd. Unknown, your country's an effing mess. Tell me about it. We're going to get into that. McKelly coming in from Edgerton, Alberta. Welcome in. We got Throwland coming in from Lacombe. David Brewer's joining us. Oh, we got that from Springfield. Bill coming in from Northeast Pennsylvania. Welcome in. Good to have you here. Lori's coming in from Spruce Grove. How does one get on Discord without a cell phone? Well, there is a link down below in the description for the Discord. You can get on there through your PC. You can just download Discord to your desktop and get in that way. SSHH is coming in from Jasper. Greg coming in from Edmonton. Mile High Mopar is in Calgary. We've got How Dare You coming in from Granham. Understanding the Times is in from Massachusetts. Steve's coming in from Edmonton. Harold's joining us from Wisconsin. Brenda is coming in from beautiful Bragg Creek. Sarah King from Vegreville. We've got Heart and Spirit coming in from Calgary. Monica from Nova Scotia. Noah coming in near Dog Pound. Welcome in. Good to have you here. We've got Unknown coming in from Texas. Man, my dyslexia is not getting the better of me tonight. And look at this, right out of the gates, Dutchie slapping it down. 140 super right out the gates. Hello, all independent Albertans. Countdown until Alberta Day at the Whistle Stop Cafe. That's July 1st. You heard it right here. Matt's going to be there.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm going to come.
What a start to the show.
It never gets old.
There's Ingrid with the $2 super coming in from Bragg Creek. Good to have you here as well. Guys, C9, that's scary.
Yeah,
that is
passed.
Matt, you have the list of all of the different censorship bills that are coming out. Which one was C9 now? I've lost track. There's so many.
There's so many. C9, I believe, is the hate speech laws, the one that
affects online hate speech.
Yes. Speech and ideology, vague hate definitions used to silence dissent, which could mean literally anything. Hate is whatever they decide it is.
Lovely.
Like my Diana Fox joke earlier in the show, it was hate speech. We're dead. They passed it today. Yep. We're done. Sorry. See you guys later. The gulag is going to be lit.
There you go. So I guess enjoy the show while you can, folks. Hit the like button. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 likes tonight. I would love to do a giveaway if we could. Steve Jensen, $5 super. I wrote a tribute song to our lovely American neighbors in Alberta's perspective. We love our American friends. We love Americans. They're wonderful. We need to talk a little bit about those giveaways. I'm going to have to restrict the giveaways to maybe once or twice a week. And I will have to only make it as one giveaway each show. For those who want to support the channel and support giveaways, you can donate to the channel at buymeacoffee.com. The link should be down below in the description. That helps keep the lights on at the channel. The problem we're running into, folks, is the government isn't happy with my expenditures. Keep in mind that when you donate to the channel, that counts as income. I get taxed on that income, and I have to explain all of that to the government. And they don't like me giving away all those shirts all the time. So I need to be in the driver's seat when it comes to those giveaways. I need to make the decisions on when those giveaways are best. I understand some people want to donate and do 2, 3, 4 shirts on a stream. I can't do those things any longer. I want to. Where I can, I will, but I need to be in control of when we do those. I hope everybody understands. I just got thrashed out by my accountant this week. I've got to pump the brakes.
I'm sure the government doesn't like you at all. And since they can't silence you all outright just yet, they'll just audit you every chance they get.
Yeah, it's not saying we're stopping with the giveaways, folks. It's just, it may be one every show or two, and then if we can do 2, we'll do 2, etc. But it'll have to be on my discretion. There's people like Steve Jensen, like others that support this channel, Tony Shaw, Dutchie, and I'm very grateful. But what we'll do is we'll just build up the coffers so that we can do larger giveaways, maybe hoodies, things like that. If we have the support to the channel, we can start making those giveaways interesting. And I can find different ways of doing it, but they've just said that the constant charges to the account is not a good look for the government. They're not happy with it. Mike with a $5 super, working on details for a venue July 11th in Edmonton. We're looking for sponsors, vendors. Stay tuned for more info. #winning. Look at Mike. He's always working.
Are you really going to make me fly right back after I drive back home? Is that what you're making me do here, Mike?
Yes. No. No. Go home. No, I'm joking.
Or like trying to make me not leave. Is that what your plan is, Mike?
And we'll figure things out. People saying buy them, then LFG. Everybody's a different size, and that's the problem with these companies. You can't like mass buy these shirts because then people go, well, all you have is mediums or larges, or I need a 3XL or a 4XL. You don't have it. We'll figure something out. I'm going to talk to the accountant. I'm just saying, guys, I need to decide when we're going to do those giveaways because my accountant wasn't happy. I just got in trouble. I already get enough people yelling at me on the internet all day. I don't need my accountant doing it too. The premier is a man, says Allie with a $2 super. Thank you, guys. It's like you're trying to get me kicked off of YouTube.
That joke is never going to get old now.
Unbelievable. Okay, let's get into what we're going to talk about tonight. We have a lot to go over. Mark Carney was sucking up to President Trump this week at the G7. Should be the G8, but they kicked Russia out. Here's Trump saying he would rather not have the USMCA. He would like to see it terminated, but he'll probably still sign it. So he's showing some compassion to Canada. But take a listen to just what he said in his own words with USMCA. I still think that if a deal is signed, Canada is going to take a huge punishment for all the Reagan ads, for all the attack ads. I think that Mark Carney needs USMCA in order to keep his deals with China. This is why he bent over the table and pleaded to Trump that he had a cap on how many Chinese EVs would be coming into Canada.
We're America only going to let 50,000 of them in. Only, come on, Trump, help me out. We're only...
America doesn't want the EVs here because if they come to Canada, that means they could enter America. And nobody wants that. Take a listen to what Trump said.
Well, it's not something that's, to me, I think it's better without it. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of it. I liked it because it got us out of NAFTA. In other words, after 6 years, you had a clause that got us out of NAFTA. That's the thing I liked about it most. We do better without an agreement.
Do you want to just leave it enrolling?
I would rather leave it unsigned. I'd rather have it terminated.
You'd rather have it terminated? Those are two different things, sir. I just want to be clear.
I would rather not have the agreement, but I may sign it.
Right.
But I would. We do better as a country if we don't have an agreement.
So are you thinking of?
Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe we won't be able to make a deal. I would rather not have the USMCA. The primary reason I wanted it was because there was no way out of NAFTA, which was the worst trade agreement ever made, like ever. And they had no termination. And it was very hard to get USMCA for that reason.
So Trump has a very good point. And Canada has taken advantage. And I saw somebody mentioned here about Flint, Michigan. Here it is. Don Allen. If you've ever been to Flint, Michigan, you'd know why Trump wants the auto industry back. As much as I hate Michael Moore, he did some powerful movies about Flint, Michigan, where he's from, and what it did to the auto industry with GMC there. Yeah, those jobs have to come back. He wants American jobs. I don't like USMCA. It should have gone. I'd rather not sign it. I'd rather not do a deal altogether. We need control. And people say, oh, we hate Trump for that. Dude's got to look after his country. He's looking after his people. Wouldn't it be nice if our government did that for 5 minutes? Wouldn't it be nice if our government gave a shit?
Shut up and pay your carbon taxes, peasant.
Everybody's trying to get me banned tonight. Look, Mr. Biggs, I appreciate the $5 super. I'm just going to leave it on screen so people can read it.
Me and Mike were talking today because we're like, some subjects that are happening in Europe that we won't talk about on the show. And me and Mike like, we need Fringe after dark or something uncensored. I'm like, I don't know if Derek's going to want us to use the Fringe name for what we're going to do when we're uncensored.
We'll figure something out, which brings us to what the hee-haw's $5 super. What will you do if you're banned from YouTube? Can you host on your own website? I'm going to talk to some folks like Jason Levine and others who have their own websites. But here's the problem, folks. The laws are the laws. It's not a matter of these are the laws on YouTube.
Yeah.
These are Canadian laws. So the government, and we'll go over those bills that are coming forward, they're trying to pass laws that give them the right to go into your digital identity and search your histories and whatnot and ban you off the internet if they don't like what you're doing without a warrant, without cause.
The one hope is, because me and Mike are on Starlink, is that High Lord Elon will tell them to kick rocks and he won't give them our IP addresses. But I mean, everybody on regular internet.
If that's the case, Elon's going to profit huge off Starlink, even if the connection is piss poor sometimes. I'll pay extra for Starlink if that's the case. I will happily pay extra for Starlink.
But then they'll start sending the guys around to drive around looking for Starlink dishes on people's roofs.
Yep. So what we'll do, look, if we get banned off of YouTube, it's not going to be just us. It's going to be everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to have to do what we did every time they came up with censorship bills. We're going to have to find ways around them. We're going to have to find creative ways. But this is where I have to ask for the viewers to be a little patient with us. You know, people get mad. I don't like your clickbaity titles. Well, that's how you get out in the YouTube algorithm. That's how you get pushed in the YouTube algorithm. That's that's how you have to do things in order to survive on the platform. When people say, I don't like when you censor words like unalive and all these other things, jibby jabs. Well, again, we had to find ways around it to stay on the platform. It's going to be the same thing, folks. I don't want to do these things, but YouTube is the most widely viewed social media platform. I'm going to have to do what I'm going to have to do in order to survive, or at least to try to survive. I ask nicely for your patience in that matter when the time comes. Greg with a $10 super. I work in Alberta. The company I work for is federally regulated. They operate in Canada and the U.S. headquarters is in Alberta. Would I still have to pay federal income tax if we separate? I don't know. I don't know.
That's one of those things we'll figure out when it happens.
I wait for Keith Wilson's white paper. Maybe it'll start to put things out like that. That's a good question. I really don't know. I don't want to say yes or no. I don't believe so, but I don't want to say that because if I'm wrong, people are going to see, here's people saying, oh, go to this platform. And I'm not going to say it because, again, I get suppressed in the algorithm. If I say it, their AI doesn't like it. It doesn't matter. The website, it's Canadian law. It's the law. It's like saying, oh, drive an American car and you can't get arrested for drinking and driving because it's not a Canadian vehicle. It's the same thing. You're on Canadian soil. That's the problem. It isn't the platform that's the issue. It's not a matter of free speech. And I'm sorry if people are saying, well, you're not as filtered on Rumble. You'll see it on Rumble because people will be prosecuted again.
So you got to remember, after these videos post, YouTube's AI scans the whole thing in 30 seconds for keywords and decides what it's going to do with it. And that's just YouTube's rules. What we're talking about is Canadian law. We're talking about no matter what platform you're on, if you say the wrong thing, the RCMP come to your house to talk to you about it.
Yeah. Although Danielle Smith has said that she doesn't anticipate sending the RCMP to people's doors unless it's like severe. We'll see. I've got a whole printout on how it's going to affect channels on this show as well as in tomorrow's video. So stick with us on the show. We're going to go all over that later in the show. Somebody says, are Danny dollars added to taxable income? No, they're not. The whole $100 she's giving us? No, it's not.
The whole $100, Danny dollars. I like it.
I mean, there's an idea. You guys could get on Starlink and go broadcast from Michigan.
There we go.
I guess technically that would be okay.
You see that in the movies all the time. The signal's bouncing. It's in Madrid. No, it's in Atlanta.
I'll be honest. I've scrutinized other YouTubers who are running out of Canada for America, but I'll tell you right now, I talked to the wife and said we may have to exercise that option. If Canada becomes that much of a police state, we may have to, in order to keep this business alive, in order to run things the way we want to run them, we may have to move to somewhere like America. The problem is that when you look at immigration lawyers, I mean, for crying out loud, like you're looking at like $30,000 or $40,000 just to get the application and the process finished before you move, before you pack up your whole life and move it south, buy a home, sell your existing home. There's a lot of things to consider there. It's not just a simple, okay, let's go. We're not the Beverly Hillbillies. We can't just pack up and leave. It's going to be crazy. Let's get to this because we'll cover this and then we'll get back. At least some good news. Uncle Chico with a $10 super. The Parade and Sundry is back on. Thanks to Al Burton for making it happen. So yeah, Al has been doing God's work. I'll show you guys. The Fringe will be in Sundry on Saturday, driving in the parade. I'm going to make the 2.5 hour trip. I think it's important. For the love of the Sundry cruise, people of Sundry, Alberta has your back. Alberta will bring the parade to you. If you're heading down, meet on 10th Street and Main Ave West in Sundry to start cruising at 10 a.m. Cruise from Red Deer leaves Red Deer, Montana's at 8:15 a.m., but from Calgary and Red Deer can meet eventually at the Olds Co-op card lock on Highway 2 and Highway 27 and leave for Sundre at 9:15 a.m. on Saturday. Crews from Calgary is leaving Harvest View lot at 96th Avenue and Harvest Hills Link at 8 a.m. Parade route map will be provided at the staging point in Sundre. So for anybody who says, well, I'm in Edmonton, I want to go to this, I want to be a part of this, just meet up at either the Red Deer location at the Montanas. I believe it's on Gates Avenue at 8:15 a.m. Or you can meet at the Olds Co-op and Card Lock at 9:15, or just be at 10th Street and Main Ave in Sundre to start at 10 a.m. They've said that they're making this non-political. So they'll probably have Alberta flags. I imagine they're going to have Alberta flags. But just if you're going to be a part of this, folks, let's try and be respectful for the people of Sundre, for Al Burton, because he's put his neck on the line. Have your flags, enjoy it, have a good time, but don't go down there screaming about the vote on October 19th or any of that stuff. Talk to people, be calm, be a good representative for our side of the playing field, because the Albozos didn't want this. In fact, I want to show you
that is
what
the
Mike
best
posted.
part about all of this, is that they canceled the parade because they didn't want the Alberta float, and now you're getting a whole Alberta flag roll through.
Mess with the bull. I mean, I tweeted it out earlier and said, we're just going to parade harder, because Mike posted this out earlier today. I said, now we're going to parade harder. And here you've got Mike showing Reboot Alberta. Please go and report this stupidity. It's literally terrorism at this point.
Oh my God.
They're trying to intimidate the town over being declined a parade float. The organization received so much hate and backlash, they canceled the parade altogether for safety concerns. This is an extreme overreaction by the separatists. Do not engage. Just report this stuff so it doesn't spread.
Report it
They're
for
losing
what?
Their minds.
Report it for what?
They're
What
losing
do you
their
report it
minds.
as? Mischief? I hear that's a capital crime in our country. Mischief.
I mean, Mike said it earlier. He said first they said we're Russians. They say that we're all these terrible, and now terrorists. Like, what's next? What's
So
next?
give me
What,
that.
the MAGA. They call us seppies. They call all these. Now it's terrorists. What is next?
A car drove by with an Alberta flag on it. I am so triggered. I'm literally shaking right now.
I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying for the last week, folks. If the Alberta flag makes you upset, you shouldn't be living here. If you live in Alberta, pack your shit and leave. Get out. Get out. If it triggers you that much, and it bugs me because these are all the COVIDiots that sat during the lockdowns and said that you need your 34th jab in order to go out in public. They called the Canadian flag a sign of terrorism after the Freedom Convoy. And they said, oh, I can't stand people with Canadian flags. They're free dummers. And now they're clutching those flags in fear over the Alberta flag.
Yeah, they called us T-words for using the Canadian flag during the convoy. And now they're like, why aren't these Albertans flying Canadian flags?
I just
they have the memory of a gnat, and they have no... The reason why they can flutter around so much is because they don't have any core beliefs. It's just whatever the thing of the moment is.
Yep.
Well, are you retarded?
They're all stupid. They're stupid. Steve Jensen said, so is it an Independence Parade or is it the original town parade back on? So technically it's a mix of both. Thank you for the $5, Steve. So what Al Burton said on John Bolton's channel today is they're inviting any of the floats that haven't been deconstructed yet or taken out of that parade to join with the crews on Saturday. They've said, bring your vehicles, bring your flags, whatever you want to do. But keep in mind, he says in the video, and you guys can go watch John Bolton's video, Al says, we're trying not to make it political. Right? So you can bring your Alberta flags. You can be proud of Alberta, but just don't bring the sovereign Alberta signs or things like that, I'm guessing. Again, just be a good representative for our side. We're trying to show Sundre we're not terrorists. We're not evil people. We're not seppies or whatever they call us. We're just Albertans looking after a town that has a tradition that's been canceled because a bunch of Albozos couldn't handle the Alberta flag flowing. So we're going to show them that we're better than them. So don't make us look bad is all we're saying.
Raise the black.
Raise the black. I'm good with it. Greg with a $2 super. Where can I find the slow roll info from Atchison? You can check in our Discord. It's every Sunday. It is posted in our Discord. You can hit the link down below in the description. It'll get you there. As for other places, Al Burton usually posts it out. 2012 Jameson $5 super. I'm a Texan and might make a video on this question. When someone says Forever Canada, what is Canada and what does it stand for? Let's talk about that, because I had that in today's video. John, talking with Al Burton, said the same thing.
That was a good tweet. Like, shout out to John. That was a really good tweet.
It was a really good one. Let's highlight it here tonight on the stream. Forever Canada. That's the slogan. That's the demand. That's the emotional appeal. But every time someone asks a simple question, what exactly am I getting in return for staying? The response is never an actual argument. Albertans ask, why send tens of billions of dollars away while our own infrastructure struggles? We ask why our energy industry is constantly targeted by policies designed by people thousands of kilometers away who neither understand nor depend on it. We ask why our representation in national institutions seems perpetually weak compared to regions with fewer people and less economic contribution. We ask why decisions that shape our future are increasingly made by bureaucracies, courts, agencies, and political classes that are culturally and economically disconnected from Alberta. We ask why mass population growth continues despite housing shortages, strained healthcare, crowded schools, and declining affordability. We ask why speech is increasingly censored, monitored, categorized as hate speech, while political activists openly demand even more restrictions. We ask why the answer to every problem seems to be higher taxes, more debt, more bureaucracy, and less local control. And what happens? Do we get a serious discussion? Do we get numbers? Do we get evidence? Do we get a vision for the future? No. We're told we're divisive, we're angry, we're extremists, we're American, we're Russian, we're Trump supporters. Now, apparently, we're terrorists as well. We're told to stop asking questions. That should concern everyone, because if the argument for Canada is strong, it shouldn't be threatened by questions. A healthy political system welcomes scrutiny. A confident country can explain itself. A legitimate arrangement doesn't need emotional blackmail to survive. The longer I spend talking to ordinary Albertans, the more I hear the same thing. Nobody ever explains why this is supposed to be good for us. People are not questioning Canada because they're hateful. They're questioning Canada because they're thinking. That's the problem. And people get triggered by it. Well, I don't like that you're talking about it, you seppies. I don't like it because I love that Canadian flag. Well, what do you love about it? I don't know. I just love it. That's not a reason to stay. Allie with a $2 super. Evil can't create, it can only corrupt, says Tolkien. I agree. 2012 Jameson $5 super. Also 51st state when it comes to prosperity. Where does Canada rank if it were a state? And I bet it will drop if Alberta leaves. I mean, that's one. What the heck is the Discord and how do I find it? Can one of our mods? No, the link is in the description down below. Can Ingrid or one of our mods explain for Greg, please, in the chat, because I don't want to derail the stream. Giuseppe's? Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's sad that this is where we are, because, Jeremy McKenzie tagged me with my video this week and said, Albertans are furious and they want to leave, and rightfully so. But he even said we should be all fighting against the government machine. I agree with Jeremy to a certain extent, because as a Canadian, I don't want to leave Canada, but it seems like the only viable option for Alberta. It seems like the only decent option for Alberta when it comes to survival. And I'll bring up this chart before we get into the rest of the stream. I showed this on a video this week. Albertans' projected net contribution to federal finances is more than $321 billion this year. That far exceeds contributions from any other province. So Alberta's at 321. Danielle Smith bogusly estimated that it was going to cost $400 billion to leave. This is 1 year. 1 year. Seems like a pretty good deal if it was $400 billion, doesn't it, folks? Doesn't it? Like 1 year pays for everything almost. BC 87.8, Ontario 59.6, Quebec is negative 429, and they're taking $17 billion a year from us.
And remember, we talked about this forever ago on the show. When it comes to the equalization payments, Quebec doesn't have to declare their hydro energy as part of that arrangement. And they make a lot of money on their energy sector, but they don't have to declare it. So that's why they get so much money. Plus they're making money on their hydro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Look at those numbers. Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Quebec. It's like, and it's no slight at those provinces, but the whole argument of separation wouldn't have come about when you see just how much Alberta contributes.
Well,
all we ever asked for.
When you compare that chart, if you flip that chart the other way, the Alberta on the left with all of the money and Quebec on the right with getting all the money, and then you flip that, Quebec has all the influence and Alberta has almost none of the influence. All those provinces that are getting all the money have way more influence than Alberta in the House, which is the entire problem. It's like taxation without representation, literally.
And that's the problem, is that Alberta only wanted fair treatment. And the people screaming at us saying you're terrorists for loving your flag, we want to remain in Canada. You don't want to be treated fairly. You don't want a voice at the table for all that contribution. You don't want a say in how things work. I'll tell you right now, anytime I've spoken with Pierre's people, and they've said, well, we think Canada works fine the way it is. You think it's fair that our elections are over before they hit the Manitoba border? You really think that's fair? You think it's fair that we don't have a voice in the Senate? You think it's fair that the East decides what's best for us when they don't even know about our culture or our exports or our economy? Keith Wilson points it out a number of times. This country is far too large to be just one country.
I love this picture. I love this picture.
I know. We always show this picture. And again, it's...
half of all Canadians live there, and half of all the seats of the country are there. So that little tiny strip decides for the whole thing. And it might as well be a different planet.
Yeah. Imagine the United States. Like, let's say that's the size of Florida. Imagine if Florida decided who ran your country, the policies that were put through, the laws that were going to go into place. And oh, by the way, if it doesn't work out in that little red area, the government can just buy their way to a majority. They could buy the Senate. They could buy the House, everything. Everything. They could just buy their way through. How is that fair? If you were another state, would you be voting to separate from America if that was the case? I think people would say, what do we do here? Like, you're held hostage by a small portion of the country. M. Remington coming in with a $10 super. Americans here admire what y'all are doing up there. We resonate with your desire for freedom, prosperity, and independence. You have our respect and support. Don't give up. Sending prayers and love. God, I love Americans.
We ain't giving up. We're not leaving.
I didn't hear no bell.
No.
I love our American viewers. I just got to say, I got to be honest, they're wonderful people. They're some of the best people in the world. Okay. I've met a lot of people around the world, from a lot of countries. A lot of countries watch this show. A lot of people reach out to the Fringe. None quite like our American viewers. They're so supportive, so loving, so caring. They just want to make Alberta great again. Wonderful people. Thank you very much for that, Remington. Greg with a $7 super. The CCFR says the government has a plan to lock Canadians out of their own land. 30% by 2030 and 50% by 2050. Access denied to 50% of Canada's land. They've been talking about that for a while. And again, until I see the ball rolling in that, I don't really want to touch too much on it because, again, censorship. Gerald with a $2 super. I'll see you in Sundry and Mirror. Good to know. Thank you so much, Gerald. I've been stalling so much. I'm not even going to get to the G7 stuff that I was going to show. Actually, let's get into this because it's good. People will have a good laugh. You see Mr. Burns struggling when talking about USMCA. It's just funny watching him. How do you know that this guy's trying to lie on the spot?
We should just officially make the show 2 hours, to be honest, because we always go 2 hours.
Here's Mark Carney struggling. Have a good laugh, folks. At least enjoy your day this way. He doesn't know how to lie like other politicians. That's for sure. Take a look.
Prime Minister, why did you feel the need to bring up Canada's Chinese electric vehicle cap with the U.S. president? And did you speak directly with him at the summit about the renewal of CUSMA?
I spoke to him about a range of things. He had asked, I can't remember he had asked me about it on China, and I explained to him what the deal. I mean, it was one of many interactions with him, and I was explaining the actual structure of the deal. You're familiar with it. I'm not surprised that the President of the United States doesn't follow every detail of every agreement that Canada has, and he likes the structure, actually. We had a follow-up conversation about it as well.
Okay, so that's the whole clip.
Wow.
What did he? What?
He didn't say anything.
I talked to him.
We should do the show like that one time. Just do the whole show.
Oh, I just can't with this guy. Like, and people say he's such a lovely prime minister. He's doing such a good job. Oh, I love Mark Carney. He's so great.
Listen, Laura Babcock doesn't count.
Mr. Ed, come on.
What's the other chick? Rachel Gilmore. Yeah, those ones don't count. What they're saying doesn't matter.
They're retarded. 2012 Jameson $5 super. As a Texan, we would not trust Danielle Smith in trade. If she will lie to her own people, she'll lie to us. Danielle wouldn't be in power if we lied.
I didn't get a chance to talk about the interview with her online. You, Mike, did, but I had hopes for Danielle when all of this started, and it's just over the last few months, her actions. Was I hoping the interview would be better? Yes. Am I surprised that it went the way it did? Not really.
No.
But either way, we're in the same spot we were before. Our job is to get it done on the 19th.
Nancy, bring lots of candy to the parade for the kids. We plan to. We're going to make them enjoy that day.
Are you going to bring a white van too?
No white vans. I'll be in the Camaro. We'll be throwing out lots of lollipops for people. Lots of lollipops. It's going to be wonderful.
Go ahead and call your dads. Tell them about your alternative lifestyle as a gay communist. And then, who knows, maybe eat a lollipop. I don't know what flamers do with their time, but I'd imagine it's something along those lines.
Yeah, we'll bring lots of lollipops for the Albozos as well. They can
go to Uganda.
They can go to Uganda. We're going to, Danielle. Look, let's get into Danielle and the First Nations. What is it they say in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? She chose poorly. Could have stayed neutral, Danny. I had people today even sending me messages still. I don't like how much you softballed with Danielle Smith. There's a decorum. I tried to ask what I could. If you watch that interview, she tried so hard to fill that time with word salad. She tried so hard to make sure that I couldn't get all my questions in. And people say, well, you talk a big game. But then you don't put it forward. I put it forward in the construction of those questions, actually.
Yes, and thank you for the I told you so.
If you look at the last question when we talked about her debating Keith Wilson, that was the gotcha. That pissed her off so much. In fact, I spoke to her people after the interview. I've been told that she really was not impressed that I put her on the spot like that. Here's the thing. If you're bold in your convictions, you shouldn't have a problem debating your pitch for people to stay. If you're going to campaign against your own people and tell them that Canada works, then go on stage and talk to one of the most well-versed people for the other side and debate them. I don't see the problem with that. But now you've got those who she was trying so hard to appease suing her or asking for an inquiry for treason.
Should we do the letter before we play the clip?
Bring up the letter. Let's bring in the letter.
Okay.
Because we'll let you guys know. First Nations, Chief Running Mouth and the Never Ending Pot of Money are coming to play to sue or ask for an inquiry for the RCMP to arrest Danielle Smith for treason.
Yes, the Assembly of Treaty Chiefs demands Premier and UCP treason investigation. June 17th, 2026, number 7 Treaty Territory. The Assembly of Treaty Chiefs of Treaty number 6, 7, and 8 has unanimously passed a resolution calling for an investigation by the RCMP and Auditor General into the actions of Premier Danielle Smith and members of the UCP to determine whether they constitute treason under Section 46 of the Criminal Code of Canada. Yeah, sure. We'll submit to that right after you guys. So I'll submit to a full forensic accounting.
Yep. Unbelievable, isn't it? Somebody should remind these chiefs that what the law is. You can't just ask the RCMP to arrest people for treason. And I'm going to back Danielle up a little bit here. She has done nothing illegal. She's done nothing that doesn't involve consultation. If this is what consultation means, consultation with First Nations has to end. It has to end. And now, everybody, I have to be so careful about my words because of C9 passing. God, I'm glad everybody let me know that before this started. I can't say what I want to say.
No.
Danielle sure did. Let's this bit her in the ass. It bit her in the ass. Premier Danielle Smith tars and feathers First Nations chiefs for undemocratically demanding an investigation into possible treason. The accusation is Danielle Smith allowing a non-binding referendum on the possibility of a future referendum on Alberta separation constitutes an act of treason. I wonder why no one ever...
Let's just stop there for 1 second. Having a non-binding referendum where citizens get to vote, which is a conversation between the citizens of Alberta and their government, is treason, according to these people. That is
even though
insane.
It's a democratic right.
It is literally the most basic foundation of democracy. The people who live in this place get to vote and talk and have discussions with the government of that place. It's
And here you go. I wonder why nobody ever accuses the Bloc of treason. They actually call for Quebec to leave Canada all the time. You can tell here she's about, oh God, that's a perfect freeze frame of Danielle. You can tell she's about as pissed here as she was when I asked her about Keith Wilson. Listen to her response to the First Nations. This relationship is going to be so sullied moving forward. This government isn't going to do anything for First Nations moving forward, and nor should they. They should tell all these chiefs to go kick rocks.
Premier, treaty chiefs are calling for an investigation into whether your actions over the independence referendum amount to treason under the criminal code. What's your response to that?
Well, I think it's disgraceful. I think it's disgraceful that any government that wants to be taken seriously would level the charges that serious against another government. Look, I've had my differences with the federal government, but I have never used language like that. I would ask the treaty chiefs to check themselves because we have a very collaborative relationship between our government and our ministry.
I'd ask these people to chickadee check themselves before they wreck themselves.
right where my brain went as soon as she said that. You better check
Here's
yourself
the thing.
before you wreck yourself.
Here's the thing, Danielle. Here's the thing about karma, Danielle. See, when you back the federal government, when you talk about how great MOUs are and how nice Mark Carney is and everything else, do you see Mark Carney denouncing what the First Nations are doing? Do you see Mark Carney coming out and saying, no, we're not going to launch an investigation into treason? You guys shouldn't be speaking about Premier Smith like that. You shouldn't be doing those things. This is what happens, Danielle, when you back the wrong horse. C9 has not been made a law yet. It's in the House for a vote.
Yeah, it made it past the first stage. It's got to go up now to the next level for a vote.
So it's not law yet.
Okay, we're fine. We're fine.
Hang on. Nope. I need more pictures of Spider-Man. I'm going to double check.
We'll do it live.
Is Bill C9 law in Canada yet? Here we go.
As of today.
It passed its third reading in the House of Commons March 25th and the Senate June 4th. The Senate made amendments. No, Bill C9, the Combating Hate Law, is not yet law in Canada. It's very close to becoming law, but the final steps, House approval and amendments and royal assent, are still needing to happen.
Well, we know royal assent is assured.
Yeah, but amendments is the key there. They may have to make amendments. So we don't know what those amendments are. It didn't pass.
Point of personal privilege, I'd like to make an amendment where we throw the whole thing in the garbage.
It may have passed a reading or the Senate, but again, royal assent, amendments, that stage has not passed yet. That was done today. Okay, I'll check even further. Bill C9 passes.
House. It passes the House. That was
it has passed the House Commons and the Senate because the Senate made minor amendments to the bill. The House of Commons passed the final amended version. It is now awaiting or has received royal assent to become law.
Wow.
Okay.
So we're like, and we know the royals are going to, like, that guy doesn't even read shit. People just put it in front of him. Here, sign this.
Okay. So I don't have it. I can't have it up on the screen, but here it is. Bill C9's passed. Here's what you need to know. It has passed 3 readings in the Senate and the House of Commons because the Senate amended the bill slightly. There will be one more vote in the House of Commons to confirm that amendment, which the government has already agreed to support. So again, it will become law. It is not official. The bill will head to the Governor General's desk for royal assent. When the Governor General signs the bill, it will formally be law. The bill will come into force, meaning changes will take effect 30 days later. C9 has removed the good faith religious expression defense from convictions for criminal hate speech. It is illegal under Section 319-1 of the Criminal Code to publicly incite hatred by communicating statements in any public space that incites hatred against any identifiable group, such as incitement that is likely to lead to a breach of the peace. It is also illegal under Section 319 of the Criminal Code to communicate statements other than in private conversation that willfully promotes hatred against an identifiable group. Oh boy, I'll have to scrub this channel.
Yeah, this whole channel needs to be scrubbed.
Penalties for these crimes are up to 2 years in prison. Before C9, if a person charged with public incitement of hatred, willful promotion of hatred, or willful promotion of anti-Semitism could establish that they are in good faith. Oh, it also says here they can't I won't have to scrub the channel. They can't prosecute for things that happened before it became law.
Still.
So they can't say you said this 4 years ago on your YouTube channel, so we're going to pursue you for charges now. I'm guessing YouTube could say we're pulling the content or something, but yeah. Okay.
And that's just one of the many that they are trying to wrap around our throats.
But now you can say anything. I'm still not going to take the chance. Still not going to take the chance. Okay, so let's get back to Danielle. Let's get back to what Danielle had to say.
To that.
Well, I think it's disgraceful. I think it's disgraceful that any government that wants to be taken seriously would level the charges that serious against another government. Look, I've had my differences with the federal government, but I have never used language like that. I would ask the treaty chiefs to check themselves because we have a very collaborative relationship between our government and our ministers. I want that to continue. But this kind of overwrought language has no place in a democracy. When they were pursuing a new relationship with Ottawa, I cheered them along. We are pursuing a new relationship with Ottawa that respects our jurisdiction, and I would ask that they be respectful of that. But they need to, that language has no place in this democratic discussion.
So she's pissed. Looks like you backed the wrong horse, Danielle. Looks like cozying up to Carney didn't work out so well for you, did it? Did it?
Nope.
And what happens now if she starts to say, well, maybe we should have taken a more neutral stance, or maybe we start understanding why people want separate? Too late. I think it's too little too late. I think it's done. I think it's done. She's pissed because it's affecting her. Well, it's very insulting for a premier to be told she's committing treason. It undermines her. You have to understand, like, this is a big deal to say she's committing treason.
Well, they already said we're all committing treason, so welcome to the club, Danny.
Yep. She can join the groups of C9, I guess. Danielle shot herself in the foot. Yeah. This is why we said from day one, even when she chastised Rob Smith for coming out, no relation, by the way, for coming out on her staff saying we should be remaining neutral in this. And she says, no, we're all united. We're all united for a sovereign Alberta within a united Canada. We agree with the MOU. We agree with everything that the government wants to do. What was wrong with just giving us the vote and staying neutral? Why couldn't that have happened?
You know why we can't have a united Canada? Okay. Since 2015, the Liberals have appointed 740 out of 1,000 federal judges, 7 out of 9 of the Supreme Court justices, 100 of 105 senators. They fund 30% of every reporter's salary in Canada, and that's just the foundation. Add to that CBC, $1.4 billion to defend the Liberal narrative, Bank of Canada redefining the recession in real time, StatsCan counting census workers as permanent jobs, Senate hiding 240,000 Democratic postcards in a warehouse, Bill C-8, all the bills we were talking about. Like, there's no winning. With the voting system the way it is, that picture we keep showing of where everybody lives, there's no voting or protesting your way out of all of this agenda. They've stacked the deck. We cannot fix it. The only hope is to leave.
Oh, Canada.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
Yep.
You are gay.
Let's talk about the hate bills. Let's talk about them. Let's get into it. Maybe we'll get a rant.
You want me
One
to
last
bring
rant.
the graphic back up, or you got
Bring him that. Is there a way to supersize that? Can we make it larger?
I don't know if I can make it bigger for you, Derek.
There we go. If Trump hypothetically recognized this as an independent republic, would a referendum be able to happen now? Like, what are the options here? So we'd have to have a referendum. You'd have to have the will of the people expressing that they wish to get away from their government. I don't really know. I don't really know. Here's the current bills that are in place. C2 is for surveillance. Again, that includes C22, accessing your data without a warrant. All your electronic data.
I saved it to my desktop, and I can zoom in. I can make it bigger as a picture instead of using the website.
Okay, let's do that. Just so people watching from outside Canada have a good understanding of what it is we're dealing with here.
That's better.
There you go. Bill C2 is border and data access, warrantless digital info sharing. C22 is mandatory data retention, lawful access capabilities and backdoors in all electronic services, mass metadata collection, and easy government access to everyone's digital data. Sounds a lot like North Korea.
Which is what all the AI data centers are for. So the AI can skim all of this information in real time, nonstop.
Yeah. So you've got Bill C8 on infrastructure, control over cyber systems, networks, utilities, power to cut and throttle. Again, all of this is being done lockstep with all the other
G7 nations.
All the Commonwealth countries.
Yeah. And you notice
all the Commonwealth countries.
All of us are experiencing the same problems in the same order at more or less the same time. Canada's actually a little bit behind, but like Australia, the UK, Ireland, all the nonsense during the vid, and then all of the mass immigration, now all of this censorship and all of these police bills, it's all happening in real time in all these countries at the same time. Almost like somebody wrote a book about it called Values.
Yeah. You know what's funny about this, folks, is the way they're hammering all of this in right now, all at once across the world. It's because the internet is the last bastion of the Wild West. They control the media. They control where you can go. They can control your bank account. They can freeze your accounts. This is the one thing they can't control yet. This is all about control. If they can control what you can say online, if they can control what you can look at online, if they can take channels like this away online and they say, well, mainstream media is all you can get your news from now. You're not allowed to listen to independent voices. That raises a big question. Now, I've already pre-filmed the video for tomorrow, and I want people to remember when they're yelling at me in the comments, Bill C9 already passed. It was filmed before I was aware of that, for one. But I say at the end of the video, some of them like Bill C22, as well as C34, the digital ID type stuff. God. I don't think that's going to pass. I don't think those bills will pass. When you look at C9, they can tie that to symbolism. They can tie that to things like flags from WW2, things like that. So I can see why that one went through, but the broader scale, like you have mainstream media outlets that are actually against C34.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of pushback from internet providers and social media sites like Facebook, YouTube, X, all about C34. Just like when they were going to tax digital streaming platforms, there's going to be a lot of pushback on it. I don't see it going through. So hopefully they'll try, and hopefully it doesn't. Keep in mind, C34 is their fourth attempt. Mm-hmm. It's their fourth attempt to try and do it. That's why they're saying it's to protect kids, everybody.
They just reword it and try again in 6 months. People have the memories of gnats, and then they'll reword it again. They'll renumber it, even call it a different nothing, and they'll just keep going until they get it some form in it.
Yeah. So what's funny is it says they'll use the children. So they're already doing that in Canada.
Yeah.
Right. They're already doing that in Canada. Let me bring up Keir Starmer, because he. Well, no, I'll just bring up the post because it actually shows you they're doing the exact same thing. It's all about branding, brand recognition, right? Here we have here. What we got to remove yours. There we go. Here's Keir Starmer. Labor confirms digital ID requirement at device level. VPNs are useless. So when people say, "Oh, just go to Rumble, just go to another platform," VPNs are useless. And here it explains why. By forcing Apple and Google to verify age at the device level during phone setup. Keir Starmer's government isn't protecting kids, it's building a surveillance infrastructure. The operating system itself will restrict platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and X, making VPNs largely useless because the block happens before any traffic leaves your phone. If you look at, there's a channel called Mr. Who's the Boss, a very big channel on YouTube. He does a lot of tech review videos and different kinds of review videos. He did a video when he got a North Korean phone that was smuggled out of the country, and it does the exact same thing that's being talked about here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you know what my favorite part about that ban is? Blue Sky's not on that list.
I was just about to say that. So the block before any traffic leaves your phone, just like the North Korean phone, there's certain government apps you can access for your GPS in North Korea, government news, things like that, but it's only verified by them, the ones they want. Blue Sky is exempt from all of these bans like TikTok, Instagram, and X would have. It says once the device carries a verified age profile, authorities gain an easy route to identify users through legal requests to tech firms. Again, Canada's using their bills to say we can access those things without a warrant. This is digital ID by the back door, sold as child safety. Expand the state control first, ask questions later. This is the same thing that's happening in Canada. And it's happening in this infrastructure. It's all tied to digital ID. It's none of it's about safety. None of it's about online harm, hate, any of that stuff. It's all tied. It's all tied to digital ID and locking you down.
The safety of children and the public good has always been the alibi of tyrants.
So let's go over where this is going to affect Canada and how it's going to affect you guys in the future when we talk about being removed from platforms. Here, Mark Nixon points out, red flag, the Liberals are attempting to bulldoze Bill C-22 through Parliament despite growing concerns over charter rights and government overreach. Again, there's a lot of pushback on this one, so I'm very skeptical that it won't go through. The Conservatives have agreed, and I want you to keep this in mind, the Conservatives have agreed to move Part 1 of the bill forward. This is where I've said Pierre Poilievre hasn't come out at any point and said, oh, you can't check people's identification. You can't just go into people's phones and get their ID or their cyber history or any of their information without a warrant. But Part 2, they want it studied, debated, and scrutinized. The Liberals want to skip that step. Nothing says trust us quite like refusing to answer questions. They actually shut down debate on committee on this bill. How do you shut down debate on a censorship bill? How do you censor debate on a censorship bill and then say, trust us, bro?
You can do whatever you want if you have a majority government.
Take a listen to what they said when during Parliament reconvening after that, I believe it was the half-day break. Let's take a look.
The Liberals are attempting to ram Bill C-22 through in a speedy and undemocratic way. They're using their manufactured majority in what might be the most aggressive programming motion I've ever seen. They are attempting to get this bill through when they know that there is significant opposition, and I would say reasonable opposition, to this bill passing. A lot of Canadians have a lot of questions, particularly about Part 2 of the bill. There are a lot of questions about whether this is going to be inviting Big Brother type of surveillance, things like that. Those are the types of questions that we need to consider at committee in order to make the bill strongest. As Conservatives, we believe that any bill that gives police the tools that they need should obviously be balanced with charter rights and privacy rights. I, for one, will not pass legislation that may be unconstitutional. Period. Full stop. And I believe that my Conservative colleagues are in the same boat. So what we need to do is we need to give Part 2 of Bill C-22 further study. It's been way too quickly brought to committee. We need to see more of it. Part 1, we as Conservatives will meet with.
Okay, I'm not going to go through the word salad, but here's the thing. He talks about how quickly it's been brought. Why do you suppose that is? If it's for our benefit, why is it being rammed through so fast?
Also, like, what do you mean study? All you have to do is read it for 5 seconds. You can tell exactly what it is and what it's going to do.
Just pin the Discord link so you don't have to get... Guy, it's in the video description below the video. Like, just go to the below the stream. It's right there in the description. Holy, we're breaking the chat. Here's the problem. Table Salt even said, why is it that from 2018 to 2022, all Commonwealth countries pursued mass immigration and then social media killed that plan? So then in 2024 to 2026, all Commonwealth countries are cracking down on social media in perfect lockstep because they want to control everything. Like I said, it's the last bastion of the Wild West. It's their last horizon to claim so that they can have ultimate control. They can control where you go, who you talk to, what you do, where you live.
Yeah. I think I said it 2 weeks ago. Trudeau was less dangerous than Carney. Trudeau was kind of dumb. Trudeau pushed all this agenda because he was told to. Carney is infinitely more dangerous because he's very smart and he's pushing this agenda because he wrote it.
Yeah. So here's what I wanted to get to. I talked to Grok and I asked, is Bill C-34 a law yet in Canada? No. It was introduced in its first reading in June 10th. It's currently at the early stages at second reading in the House of Commons with no further progress yet. So it goes on to talk about what it was. We've already covered that, so we'll skip past that. I asked, would this bill affect what political YouTube creators like myself can and cannot say in my videos? Yes, indirectly, but not by directly restricting what you can say as a creator. So Bill C-34, the Safe Social Media Act and Digital Safety Act, primarily regulates platforms like YouTube, not individual creators. But it's going to get into that because everyone's going to say, oh, well, that means YouTube. That means YouTube decides. They do, but I'm going to explain to you why YouTube would have to. And then so when people talk about, hey, Derek, you're getting censored by YouTube, you'll understand more why we have to use the clickbaity titles. You'll understand more why I have to self-censor on certain words we use or topics we can or can't talk about currently on the platform. Platforms must mitigate the risk that users, especially children, are exposed to, such as harmful content. This includes content that foments hatred. I want you guys to remember that. Content that incites violence, terrorism, violent extremism content. What was it they were calling everybody going to Sundry on the weekend for the parade? Oh, right. Terrorists. Keep that in mind. Direct effect on me? None. The bill doesn't criminalize speech or ban topics for creators. You can still post what you want, subject to existing laws like hate speech provisions. Again, C9. Indirect platforms. Platforms will likely err on the side of caution with content involving strong criticism of groups, immigration, gender issues, politics, etc., if it could be interpreted as fomenting hatred.
The definitions of what constitutes hate speech or incitement are so broad that it can literally be whatever they decide it is.
And that's the problem. Algorithmic changes, reduced recommendations, lower visibility or labels. Guys, sound familiar to what you already see with this channel? Flagging and complaints. Easier user complaints could lead to faster reviews or takedowns. No strong exemptions for political news content in the core duties. So here's what I asked. So if I make content, and here's where I was talking about fomenting hate. If I make content that calls out our government corruption or pro-Alberta separation, would that be able to be deemed as a risk or as a loophole for the government to control what people can and cannot see on my channel? Yes. Content like calling out government corruption or advocating for Alberta separation could be deemed a risk under Bill C-34, primarily through the vague content that foments hatred or incites violence categories, creating a practical loophole for indirect government influence over visibility on platforms like YouTube. So what YouTube has to do, and again, I'll go back to that, but I want people to understand because they say, well, YouTube's the problem. You should go to other platforms. This is what's going to become reality for those other platforms as well. Platforms like YouTube, etc., must assess risks and mitigate exposures to harmful content for users, especially children, facing massive fines, up to 3% of global revenues or $10 million+ if they fail. This creates strong incentives for over removal, algorithmic suppression, demonetization, or reduced recommendations.
So literally everything that's happening to this channel right now already.
Even for illegal content. So now do you guys understand why this channel is suppressed? It's not because YouTube is against free speech. It's because the CRTC in Canada have rules that say if you're caught putting those kind of videos up, that we find them deemed to be unworthy of Canadian content and our Canadian content rules, you can face fines up to 3% of your global revenue or $10 million plus.
Abolish the CRTC.
Do you think YouTube is going to pay $10 million because I want to put up a video? This is where you have to remember what happens. Will YouTube just pull out of Canada? I hope not. I hope not. But here's what it is: foments hatred. Content that expresses detestation or vilification of an individual or a group on the basis of a prohibited ground of decriminalization or discrimination, sorry, and is likely to spread that detestation. There's a for greater certainty clause saying mere disdain, dislike, or offense doesn't count, but courts have interpreted similar language broadly. Again, like Matt said, there's no real strict definition about it. But here's the other one: inciting violence or terrorism, violent extremism. So if we were talking about the referendum vote coming up in October, hey guys, get your flags, go to a slow roll, let's go to Sundry and do the parade. All of that could be viewed, because it's such a broad scale, as terrorism or extremism. These require active encouragement of physical violence or threats, legitimate political advocacy for separation. Peaceful referendum style has narrow exclusions for journalism or education, but the heated rhetoric could still trigger reviews.
Listen, Panina, we here at the Fringe will never pull out. Not ever.
Realistic outcome. So here's the realistic outcome. Videos on government corruption or Alberta independence could see lower visibility in Canada, more flags or limited reach, not just because the government directly censors you, but because YouTube prioritizes compliance. This mirrors concerns with prior online harms bills. So, again, I don't see the bill going through because of all the vague, broad areas of it. But again, I'm never going to say never. But it's not just this channel that's going to suffer. Every channel you watch, Moose on the Loose could be taken down. Jasmine Lane, this channel, Northern Perspective. Anybody who criticizes the government, and this is where we talk about them controlling the internet backdoor. Remember Mark Carney's speech about using backdoor policies to get over legislative policies?
We played that last week.
Yeah. This is a backdoor policy to digital ID, because Canada already saw how Keir Starmer used that. He came out and said it was all because of immigration.
I broke the chat, Derek. You were trying to be serious, and I made a joke, and now I broke the chat.
Of course. I'm trying to find this video clip that we showed on the channel ages ago, where Mark Carney said there were no plans for digital ID.
I remember that. We did talk
and
about
now
it on the
he's now he's here it is. Here it is. So with all of that we just covered, does this make sense now?
Keir Starmer's introduced a digital ID card. He wants to make it mandatory as a way of controlling immigration. Is that something Canada might consider?
Well, Paul, one thing I would put in terms of context is the UK is relatively unique in not having other forms of identification. So there's been a long history here not to have ID. In Canadians, we have various forms of ID. We have driver's license. You have social insurance license. Like you have forms of identification. In terms of so now, are there merits to having common digital identification for government services, for you say immigration, also for financial services, portability, other
He really
aspects?
can't talk when he's not on script.
Current plans for that.
So he said we don't have current plans for that. And this was, when was this? September. This was September. So what is that? Like 8 months ago? 9 months ago?
Yeah.
So in 9 months, we have no plans for that to full communist government?
Well, Trudeau also once said he had no plans for increased firearm regulations, but here we are.
M. Remington with a $5 super. If you get banned, send your show to the U.S. account so we can post it here from a proxy. Ontario can suck it. Again, it doesn't matter where it's uploaded from.
We still live here.
I'm still on Canadian soil. This is where I'm saying, like, I already talked to the wife about it, and this is where we said, you know, maybe at that point, that's when we have to start thinking about maybe the U.S. could have asylum. I wish it would be nice if they did for those like us that can go there and say, I'm a independent journalist and I'm not allowed to express myself in this totalitarian country. I'm seeking asylum. I'd like to continue with my news with the ability to do so. Although I encourage you to remember those like Celtic Canuck, who came to this show when we first started it. She was banned from the YouTube platform for talking about the EU and their censorship laws when she lived in Canada, and YouTube still banned her account. Again, just like we pointed out before, this is where they have to mitigate their risks. So I don't know if it really even matters where you live. This is all for them to escape scrutiny, for them to do even more damage, for them to do what they want to. Like, this is why I can't understand for the life of me why anybody in Alberta says, oh, I'm fine with staying in Canada. I'm fine with things the way they are. I yearn for the Canada that used to be, and I think it's done if Pierre gets in or if anything. Like, really, at this point, when you're being told what you can listen to, where you can get your content from, how you can live, where you can go, who you can talk to, where you can work, what you can and can't say to people, you're telling me that works for you?
I think you'd be pretty surprised how many people on the Forever Canada side have no idea that any of those bills even exist or what's in them. Honestly,
yeah.
Like if you're out in public, guys, and you see somebody and you ask them about those bills, I guarantee you, they probably don't even know what they are or what's in them. And even if you did tell them, they'd be like, "Well, yeah, but Trump, he's bad."
Yep. Yeah. Greg with a $5 super. Don't worry, guys. My 14-year-old son figured it out just in time before he gets banned from social media. I'm glad. Thank you. Noah with a $2 super. You'll own nothing and be happy. Well, we're well on our way.
I will own things and be angry. Thank you very much.
Fashizi with a $5. I will never be able to escape Canada unless it is with Alberta. Disability is my income. I can't run, so I'll defend Alberta hard. You have to realize that if we want Alberta, it may come down to that. It may come down to that. Because they're not just going to give it up.
We can't say that.
Well, to hell with it. Major Flip, $5 super. All of this was related to New World Order. Carney said it a number of times. You're all effed. Yeah, I agree. Seal Clubber with $2 super. Danielle and Olds, June 24th. ND flags for
independence waves. I think.
Not sure what that means.
Danielle Smith is going to be there on the 24th. He wants people to go wave their flags at her.
Oh. Okay. Captain McGunty with a $5 super. That's what democracy is all about. It's hard conversation and debate. All these bills will shut this down and we'll be authoritarian. That's the problem, isn't it?
That's what they're going for.
That's what they're shooting for. It's sad. It's really sad that this is where our country's gotten to. And it goes beyond that. Matt, you had something about flags being replaced. Tell me it's a good idea we stay now, folks. Tell me it's a good idea that we stay now.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to remove the bills. Let's put this in. So a school in Ontario has decided it would be a really good idea if the rainbow flag replaced the maple leaf during Pride Month.
Altogether. So they won't even fly the Canadian flag at all.
Should I bring up the article? Should we go through it?
No.
Do we need to?
No, we don't need to string anybody through that. But look at this, folks. Here, go up for a sec. Go up.
Sorry. Viva Fry was replying.
So all the people in Canada that are now saying that we're terrorists because we love Alberta, because we want this stuff out of our schools, because we want independence, they're okay with replace the Canadian flag altogether, but you should want to stay in Canada. These people aren't proud of their country. They aren't proud of where they live. They don't care about that flag. These are the same nut jobs that were booing the national anthem.
In the article, the one school in Ontario that they're talking about already did it. Like they replaced the Canadian flag with the Pride flag for Pride Month because, of course, it's in Ontario, somewhere probably in or around Mega City 1. But now they write a whole article saying, should we do that everywhere?
Yeah, let's just do it everywhere now, guys. We got away with it in one place. Let's just do it everywhere. If you don't love your flag, get out of the country. This is the reason Alberta got to this point, because you guys shit all over the flag during the convoy, and now you're mad because we've adopted a new one and said, hey, well, we're proud of where we live. I was outside the other day and somebody said, you're not really hanging that Alberta flag, are you? I said, if you don't like it, pack your shit and leave. I'm proud of where I live. I'm proud of it. And you know what? I used to be proud of Canada until all you idiots ruined it. You frickin' ruined it.
We mentioned
Has
it on
anybody
the channel
noticed?
before. The convoy was the last gasp of people from the West trying to save and belong in Canada. And they crapped all over us. They attacked us. They froze bank accounts. They unleashed foreign riot police on us. And that was it. Everybody's done now.
Has anybody noticed that the Forever Canada logo is the maple leaf on fire? Has anybody noticed that? Maybe that's what Tommy's idea is with his halal mortgages. Is once he has everything he needs, burn it all down. Right? Isn't that the perfect euphemism for what they're wanting to do? Just burn the country down? If people sit here and say, oh, Fringe, you don't love Canada no more. You're such a piece of shit for doing that. No, I love Canada. I have a Canadian passport still. I love my country. The problem is you idiots run around telling me that I'm not allowed to love my country anymore. You tell me that I'm not allowed to enjoy freedom. I'm not allowed to enjoy free speech. I'm not allowed to have guns. I'm not allowed to protect my family. I'm not even allowed to own my vehicle. If somebody wants to come and steal it in the middle of the night, I should just put my keys outside and say, here you go. Enjoy the ride. Have a great day. You tell me that I'm not allowed to have a job because, oh, you can only get those if you come from another country where you wear a towel on your head. You tell me that I can't walk around without worrying that my daughter's going to get assaulted because if somebody does that, don't worry, they won't go to jail. They'll be allowed to walk free because of the color of their skin. How is that not the most racist thing you've ever heard in your life? And you tell me that I'm a terrorist because I wave a blue flag that is the last bastion, the last symbolism of hope in this country, the last ounce of freedom that we have? And you tell me that I'm not a patriot because I stand behind it saying, I want to vote in October that tells the government I'm sick and tired of your shit. I'm ready to leave. If you can't treat me like a normal human being, I'm going to pack my shit and go. And I'm taking my oil and my property with me. You don't have control over me. Meanwhile, you have Danielle Smith, Naheed Nenshi, Tom Lukaszuk, Pierre Poilievre, the entire Conservative Party, Mark Carney, his entire party, all coming to Alberta to tell you you're not allowed to do that. You have to put up with whatever shit they throw at you, and you're supposed to be grateful. You're supposed to be a grateful little peasant. And you just keep paying and paying and paying and riding the carousel around so that Pierre can smile and say, well, we'd like to do all these wonderful things, but we're actually not going to do them because I'll never get elected. Because that small portion of the country that votes and controls our political system doesn't want him. And this is the same reason Danielle made the biggest mistake of a lifetime, jumping onto the fence of campaigning against the people she gave the referendum to. They won't vote her in either if she takes Pierre's job. They don't want her. Just like she got burned by First Nations, just like she got burned by the federal government, she's not going to get shit but an unemployment check and her pension. That's it. That's what you get, Danielle. You should have stayed neutral. Damn you for not staying neutral. And damn you for ruining the hopes and dreams of all the Albertans who gave you your job. For the longest time, I sat on this channel and said, she's based. She gets it. She knows what we want. She's giving us the stepping stones to get there. She's giving us the ability to speak. She's giving us the ability to make our own way, to go into business for ourselves, to say that we're done with this nonsense. And at the first chance, she puts a knife in our back and says, nope, bend over and enjoy what the government gives you. Enjoy your carbon-sucking machines that you're going to pay for in perpetuity, and that the industrial carbon tax doesn't show up on your bill. It doesn't affect your food. It doesn't affect your gas. It doesn't affect anything. In fact, here's $100. Here's $100 so that you guys forget about the problem, right? Here's $100. Danny Dollars that we're going to give you to be a grateful little pleb and go about your business. Here's $100 back while you pay hundreds of thousands every month to feed your family, to put clothes on your kids' backs, to put gas in your tank, to go to your shitty job that's going to get undercut from underneath your feet and given to Raj Singh when he gets off the plane with 16 of his family members from India. I don't want to be a part of that system anymore. And I'll tell you right now, I shouldn't have to pay $40,000 for an immigration lawyer just to get the hell out of here if they don't want to fix their shit. You got Danielle cutting Aish. What is it now? ADAP?
Yeah.
Take a $200 cut. Oh, and don't worry, people will unalive themselves. They'll just remove themselves from the earth. They're taking care of the problem themselves. So I'll sit here and say, here's your $100, but don't worry. I just took $200 a month away from people who actually need it. While we're going to make you pay for carbon sucking machines.
Ugh.
Mark Carney's glorious MOU. Are you not sick of this shit yet, folks? This is why I get mad when people sit there and say, you're a terrorist, you're a SEPI, you're all these terrible things. I don't care if it's somebody the same age as my grandma. I feel like knocking them out. I feel like doing it. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, YouTube. I feel like doing it because it's, how can you be so disconnected from reality? How can you be so physically stupid and retarded to not understand how the economy works, to not understand what the future is going to look like, what the future generations are going to be? Well, I'm not going to be here. I don't care. Then just do us a favor and drop dead. Just leave. Stop voting. Get out of my country. Get out of my province and let us be. If you can't get a grip on reality, if your elbows are so far up your ass that your brain is exempt from reality and economics, get the hell out of here. Pack your shit and leave. This is my province, my land, not First Nations. They can take their Tide Foundation money and move to God knows where else, like Toronto, where they're looking at multi-million-dollar mansions and build their casinos and cash in on their blood guilt grift for the rest of their lives. I'm not putting up with it anymore in this province. And I'll tell you something else. If a separatist party develops, I'm going to join that party. I'm going to run for that party. And I'm going to start telling these government pigs to do the same things. Pack your bags and get the hell out of here. You have no place in Alberta. And that's not because I'm a bigot. It's not because I'm a racist. I am a preservationist. I want my culture. I want my lifestyle. I want kids to be able to grow up and buy houses. I want them to populate the earth. I don't want mass immigration from other countries where people are coming here to steal everyone's jobs. I don't want people to struggle anymore. I don't want people to pay taxes out their asshole until they're broke and living in a cardboard box. Yeah, but did you hear Carney's speech? Will I freeze to death in my tent? I'm sick and tired of that shit. Get it out of here. This used to be a place where if you worked hard, you did your due diligence, you got in on the ground floor and you worked your way up the ladder, you could be successful. You could have a good life. You could pay for your home. You could go on vacation. You could look after your kids. You could have investments. Once in a while, you could treat yourself to some reward, some small reward. And now it's get your check every 2 weeks, give that 50% to the government, and then go get taxed on your gas, go get taxed on your food, go get taxed on everything else. Your groceries are going to go up every single week while you live on stale ramen noodles and discontinued spoiled meat because it's all you can afford. The lower standards. Peasants, while the government jet sets around the world eating braised beef and shoving luxury butter up their assholes. Sorry, I'm not into that. Mark Carney can take his mannish husband and leave. Take one of your passports to somewhere else and go back to wherever the hell you came from, because you sure as shit don't care about Canada. And you sure as shit don't care about the people who live here. And you better not step 1 foot in Alberta this summer. That includes the Conservatives. Don't you dare come here unless you want to be unemployed in the next election. You need Alberta to get your seats, even if independence doesn't happen. And for any Conservative MP that opens their jaw and sits here and says, well, I don't think you should be voting for your independence. You should just let us fix your problems because that's worked over the last 10 years. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it my priority to go on this channel while I'm being censored to hell, telling everybody in those ridings, don't you dare vote for those treasonous bastards any longer. Those pigs at a trough. Don't give them a single vote. Let them be unemployed. Let them worry about where they're going to get their groceries from. Let them join the system. Even at their pension levels, they won't be able to afford to live in our system anymore. Let them suffer. I'll tell you right now, Dane Lloyd's in my riding, and I've said it a million times before. I'll say it again. Dane, stay out of Parkland County this summer. Don't you dare come back here and tell people that they need to respect the government or that they shouldn't feel the way they feel. Or you're going to be unemployed. I will make it my sole mission in Parkland County to go door to door and tell each and every person not to give your vote to Dane Lloyd. Get out, you pigs, you fat, sweaty pigs at a trough, sucking up my tax dollars and giving me nothing for it. While my family members are going bankrupt and homeless because of ADAP, because of the funding they get from this government. Enjoy your $100. Why don't you enjoy these nuts?
These nuts? I gotta say, that was an epic one. And people are all like, Matt, your facial expressions are hilarious. Because when Derek goes off like that, I usually just read the comments or just make funny faces. And
I
know.
You know what it is?
I'm there.
I've seen people crying at the grocery store this week because they don't know what the hell they're going to do.
Yeah, man. It's
and they sit there, and these are people. And I was talking to somebody this week who said, I make $65,000 a year at my job. Broke. And I can't afford my rent, my groceries, and my bills.
My buddy who's the RCMP officer texted me. I can't remember where he is. Somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Alberta is his assignment. He said his wife went to the store and paid $3 for one orange. Like, this is unsustainable. Like, I went to the store where I am. It's a smaller town just outside of Winnipeg. And like a 5-pound bag of basic potatoes was $10. Like, how... I make good money, and like I'm just like I'm doing okay, but like people who aren't like making good money or like hovering at the poverty line, they're getting crushed. This is unsustainable.
You need to be making 6 figures in this country just to get by. Just to get by. Like my insurance company contacted me today with what was a DocuSign. Hey, your policy's going up in 2 months. We need you to sign this so we can auto-renew you. You'd love that, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Well, you gouge me for $900 a month for my current plan. No, I'm not signing shit. I'm out looking for a new provider. Oh, is there anything we can do? No, you should have done it months ago. I'm firing you. I'm finding somebody else, somebody who wants my business, somebody who's prepared to give me insurance that I don't have to donate a kidney every month in order to pay it. Well, I'm sure we could find you a better deal. Nope. You should have found me the better deal from day one. You have forgotten what customer service is. You're just as greedy as the government. You're a fat, sweaty pig in a suit sucking up my money. I'm not going to give it to you anymore.
Speaking of insurance, you know how many people in Manitoba found out just today that the insurance for their homes doesn't cover overland flooding due to rain?
Yep.
Because you know what happened? I mean, I don't know how many of you guys
the Red River
know what happened.
Floods every year.
It floods all the time. But like this is overland flooding, so that means just a really torrential rain. And so many people, like driving around where I live, their whole house, their whole basement is on their front lawn, garbage, trash, and people are being told that their insurance doesn't cover that. They're screwed.
Yeah, somebody said their better deal isn't giving you a better price; it's taking something away from you. Look, my deductibles in insurance, you would think at $900 a month for 2 vehicles and a house, my deductibles would be very low. My deductible's $1,000, and I've got a clean driving record. Like no accidents, no claims, no problems. 2 vehicles. People can say, well, you drive a Camaro, Fringe. I've had my license since I was 17 and it's clean. It shouldn't be that high. It's ridiculous. And thankfully I've had other people who say, hey, call this company, they're better. I'm going to do that. But what they've done every time I've told them it's too damn high. Oh, well, we'll just take away some of the contents insurance on your home.
At least you have the option there. We only have the one government agency here. We have MPI. That's it. There is no option. You take what they give you.
It's so sad because you see stuff like this. Migrants come in here and, oh, here's your free money. Here's your checks. Keep populating the earth. Keep outpopulating us. Keep replacing us. And anybody who's going to say, well, that's racist. No, that's a fact. Go look it up. Go look it up. They're replacing us. And everybody's okay with it. Do you guys remember when we showed the clip of David Menzies at Tim Hortons and the guy says, oh, these guys aren't immigrants, they're Canadian citizens, just let them work. He's got his elbows so high up and he doesn't care because he's going to be dead in 20 years. He doesn't give a shit who comes to this country. You're stopping our own citizens from having kids because they can't afford it. And meanwhile, you're importing everybody from some of the worst parts of the world and saying, here's your free money. Keep populating the earth to keep getting a check every month. If you come from another country, you shouldn't be getting the Canada Child Benefit. You shouldn't be getting $8,000 a month.
Or any of that until you're a citizen.
Again, when you look at AISH and you look at what it does for people on disabilities that are now, they're being told to live on $1,700 a month. $1,700. How do you do that? Like, I understand that their living quarters are sometimes subsidized, but how do you live on $1,700 even with the subsidies? And it's okay to give them $1,700 to people that literally can't fend for themselves. They don't have the ability. And you're going to say, well, that's okay. But if Mr. Singh comes here from India, $8,000 a month, and if he has children here, he's allowed to get the Canada Child Benefit and more free money out of taxpayers' pockets. Why aren't we keeping that money for ourselves and taking care of our disabled? Why aren't we taking care of our veterans with PTSD? Why aren't we telling these people, you need to pay for your health care when you come here? The Canadians get free health care because they pay into that system. You have to pay for your health care.
Somebody who proposed that bill got attacked. They proposed that we stop letting, recent arrivals and all that get free health care because they haven't paid into. You and I have paid into the system since the second we started working. Gurpreet Singh comes in with his 3 wives and his 10 kids, and they all get money for like all the free health care, and they didn't pay into the system. So how is that not a drain on the system?
There's Igor. Shout out to Igor, by the way. Igor. You guys should give him a follow. He's great. I'm taking my insurance to court. Last year flooded because of the rain in Calgary. You know what the lawyer told me? The government protects insurance providers in the country, not the people. They always protect the government. Again, this is why you should be voting for independence. It's why we need to get off this carousel. Get off the ride. It's not doing you any benefits. Like, I just, you guys got to forgive me. I just can't understand how people are so stupid, how they're okay with this, how they're complicit with it, complacent. It's so depressing because I turn on the TV and I'll watch, UFC at the White House. I'll see Americans, how proud they are to live in their country. And they've got their problems too. Things aren't perfect in America, but they seem happy for the most part. The families look like they're happy. Their kids look like they can earn a living if they want to go to school and get educated. They look like they have opportunities. And what people have to realize when they're calling us seppies and everything, that's all people ever wanted here. We just want our jobs. We want to keep more of our money so that we can invest in our future. Why is that a terrible thing? Why do people love communism so much and say, well, you shouldn't have more money. You shouldn't have more opportunities. You should open your doors and welcome people in here from other countries that want to live on welfare.
It's never successful people who are parroting communism. That's why. Wealth redistribution sounds great to people who don't have any wealth.
You look at a guy like Igor, who's now screwed on his insurance, and he's a successful realtor. Like, I'm sure he makes a decent living doing what he does. And now he's got to fight an insurance company because the insurance that you pay into every month doesn't want to cover you. I mean, we bought our house last year and they said you have 1 year to claim all the deficiencies in your house. You should see the patchwork jobs they've been doing around the house. Mm-hmm. They're not replacing the broken things. They're coming in and doing quick patch jobs to make it look repaired.
Till you run
and then
out
they're telling you,
your warranty.
Oh, it's all, well, it's not just the warranty. They say, oh, everything's fixed. It's not fixed. It's going to do the same thing in a couple of months. It's patchwork. This isn't what insurance is supposed to do. Insurance is supposed to make me whole. Now, on my property in my basement, and Matt, he can attest to this, there is a load-bearing pole in this basement that is crooked. This is a load-bearing support
The
pole.
telepost is bent. Yeah.
It's bent. And I've sent that to the insurance company and said, this is part of my foundational structure. I need this fixed. And they've said, yeah, it doesn't qualify. We're not going to repair that, but we can come fix the grout in your bathroom that's been deteriorating. We don't have a problem with that. Grout, I can do the grout for $20.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the foundation, oh no, we're not gonna fix that. We don't want to fix that. This is why we need change. The system has failed us. You were told that if you do the right thing, if you pay your bills, you work hard, again, jump on the carousel and do the right things, you'll succeed in life. Now the government says, yeah, but we don't like that anymore. We want control over that. And again, just like the internet we've been talking about tonight, well, that's the last bastion of it, isn't it? Now we get to control what you can see. So you can't come and listen to guys like The Fringe. You can't come and listen to Igor or watch him vlog because it's hate speech. And if we don't like what Igor says, you see all the people trying to cancel Igor right now? They got him kicked off of Instagram and stuff. What happens when the government starts going into his digital signature on platforms without a warrant? And they go to Igor's house and say that him and his wife, who I don't believe his wife was born in Canada either, they'll say, yeah, time for you guys to go. I'm sure they're Canadian citizens, but you get my drift, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, the government seems to just make up the rules as they go along, if it fits their narrative. And there's no accountability for what they're doing. And you've got an entire summer coming up where all of them are going to campaign against you to tell you somehow that that's the way things should work and you should be grateful. How's that fair? I don't understand how anybody in this province or across the country could be against getting a better deal and abolishing their government at this point. Even if you're in Ontario, Saskatchewan, BC, Manitoba, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, wherever. I know there's, hey, Fringe, you didn't say PEI. I'm not mentioning all of them. I'm just saying all across the country, you should be upset with what you're getting in terms of representation. This isn't a government. Mark Carney is gone 3/4 of the year. How's that representation? How is that leadership?
80% of the question periods he hasn't been to. He skipped like 100 out of 120 or something like that.
This is why when I go out and people, forever Canadians who know who I am, they scream at me when I run into them in public. They tell me what a piece of crap I am. They tell me that I should get off the platform, that I should go play in traffic. And I sit there and go, please explain to me why you're okay with things the way they are. And they don't. They just, well, because we love Canada. Why do you love Canada? Well, because we do. That's not an answer. Well, of course you'd say that, you criminal. You treasonous prick. I hear that all the time.
I'm kind of depressed when I wear my Alberta gear around in Manitoba that nobody understands what it means and they don't yell at me.
Well, it's not pleasant. I'll tell you, I enjoy what I do on YouTube for the most part, but as soon as you got to read the graffiti, because if you don't engage in the comments, people get upset. But when you engage in the graffiti or you go out and you get the hassle, it really... It really sucks.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah, it really sucks. It really sucks. Let's get these supers handled. Remington with the $5 super. The War of Independence for us in America was already fought and won by a small minority. You already have more people than our patriots. You've got this. Again, I don't outlaw the stupidity of others, though, is the problem.
Yeah.
Seal Clubber, $2 super. New anthem, elbows down, butts up. Yeah. Marianne Drinkwalter coming in, member for 7 months. Tell me how you really feel. I appreciate it. Thank you. Greg with a 279. That was epic. Thanks, Derek. I needed that. Well, enjoy it while you can. Enjoy it while you can, because they're probably going away with these new laws. Steve Jensen, $5 super. They don't let you buy supplemental private insurance. BC allows that. No, they don't. Steve Jensen, $2 super. I'm living on $432. Canada pension plan and $565 income supplement.
That is crazy to me. That wouldn't even cover like my entire like mortgage and rent and whatever. Like
my utility bill averages $400 to $450 a month.
Yeah, like,
and that's just electric, water, and heat. That's
my total bills, like, you know, for my mortgage and like, you know, that whatever. Like we're pushing $2,500 a month.
Yeah. I think in our home, when you add up our expensive insurance, if you were to factor in all the costs, let's leave out cell phones, food, and all that. So just the basic operating costs, mortgage, property taxes, utilities. We're probably at, hang on a second, $4,500, roughly between $43 and $4,500 a month, just to pay our operating costs, and that's before cell phones, internet, food, fuel, and all that extra stuff.
Fuel, that's killing me. I drive a truck and I go do it for work.
Ever since we had to get ever since we got a second vehicle, it comes down to us saying, do we need to take the other car out? Do we need to? And it sucks because I love my Camaro, but there's days where it's like, I want to go for a drive. I can't. I don't want to fill that thing up again.
Yeah.
It's
probably sucks
it is what it
gas
is.
like crazy too.
Actually, it's not too bad, but it's filling two vehicles when we were used to only filling one. It's a big change. Barb with a $10 super. I understand you're so right. I'm with you. I appreciate that, Barb. Thank you so much. Barb with another $5. Being a senior, I don't make much money per month, and it's hard. And I hate that. Noah, $2 super. This video is not available in your country. Yeah.
Coming soon to a Canada near you.
Greg, being a member for 3 months, I just found out about the $200 taken away from AISH. You got to apply for disability tax, and even if you qualify, you can get it back, just more hoops. But that's the problem, is a lot of people don't know the hoops they got to jump through. And there's people that are dependent on that. Dude, I have a family member who was on AISH who's been told with the seizures they get, their inability to talk, their mobility that's massively inhibited. And this was an injury from the jab, that they're told you have to go get a job in order to make ends meet, because we're cutting out the 200 that you were already hanging on to. But he has involuntary seizures at random. How's he supposed to get a job? How's he supposed to work somewhere? He's on a walker. Like, what's he supposed to do for a living? And then I talk to people that he knows through the program, and they're breaking down in tears saying, I might be like that other guy who was on AISH who decided to just end it all because
Is that the
I
one
have
they
my
interviewed
dignity.
outside the Tim Hortons and took him right to the train station?
No, there was
something
somebody
else.
somebody ended their life because they had their dignity and didn't want to go on ADAP. They couldn't afford to go on ADAP. And and I yelled at, Danielle follows me on X, and I yelled at her on X today when she was talking about the $200. And I said, but don't worry about AISH or ADAP, right? You're giving us $200 for every married couple, but you took $200 away from people with disabilities. Why don't you give it to them?
Right.
Right. And she's talking about, or it was because she also mentioned how they're taking away mental illness as a reason for MAID. And I said, well, you don't need to worry about taking away mental illness. The problem's solving itself. You took away $200 a month from people. They're just going to off themselves. And your government takes no accountability. Like, for that $200 a month for the people that are on AISH, you could have found somewhere else to slash the money. If that was the case, there could have, there's a range of things that they could have done differently. Hell, even as a taxpayer, and this is where I say transparency is so critical and crucial. If Danielle Smith came to me as a taxpayer and said, we have to raise your taxes by 2% this year in order to cover that $200 that every Albertan's going to pay, I'd happily pay that extra 2%. If it meant they're looked after. Like, if I find out it's going to government waste, yeah, that's a problem. But if they said, look, it's either we slash that or we add this to somebody's bill, add it to my bill, please. Look after our own people.
The problem is they already get more than enough to take care of all of this, but it goes to shit.
No giveaway tonight, please. We need independence more than a free shirt. Keep your accountant happy.
Yeah. Do we have anything happy to talk about now? That was a lot of depression. Oh.
Are you saying you don't want me to redeem it?
Why you no bring the gun to me and then I give you $25 gift card to Tim Horton?
Do not redeem it! Do not redeem it! Do not redeem it! Why you redeem it?
Well, I got bad news. I got bad news for you. I'm going to do it anyways because I want to. Like I said, I just need to be in control of it is all I'm saying. Because you have guys, very generous people in our community who say, here, Derek, I'm going to send you money, give away a couple of shirts tonight. That's where I can't, because it comes into my account, then it goes out. And even though I'm showing that, the accountant says, according to the government, you're making money and spending it at the same rate that you're getting it in. It's not boding well for the taxes.
It still
That's
counts as income.
Yeah, it still counts as income. And I don't care. Like, yeah, I got to pay taxes on that, but it's more how it looks to the government and how the accountant sees it. I just need to be in control of when we give those away is what I'm saying. But we'll do a giveaway tonight because I want to.
Just out of curiosity, even though we're going to do it anyway, what are the likes at today?
I think we're over 1,000.
It's not over.
Redeem the
9,000?
squishy. Did somebody see my Nito? Is that why somebody's saying redeem the squishy?
Do you do that too? When like you're like, I have. One
I do
too.
pay taixes on donations.
Yes,
you do. It's like getting tips. You do pay taxes on the donations. So how it works, Dilligaff, if somebody sends me money to buy me a coffee, I have to move that money into my business account in order to use that money to buy shirts. So when it comes into the account, that comes in as income. Now, if I give away shirts, I get to write off a portion of that, but it still counts as income. So when you say a write-off, that doesn't mean that 100% of the money isn't on my account anymore and I don't know it. It's all how it works.
Church. We're not a church.
Yeah, I've got I have a Nito cube. I'm like Jordan Peterson. I play with this Nito cube because it keeps I've told people before, I have a really bad anxiety complex. And I fiddle with this throughout the entire stream because it keeps my my anxiety in check.
I have one too. I do it all the time. Mine's full of
There you
balls.
go. Well, see, I don't have balls like you do. I just
well, we know.
It reminds me of women's augmentations, we'll say. So I play with my Nito cube.
Oh,
it's
there we go. Little laughter, a little fun at the end. That's much better.
They had to move the amnesty cutoff again. Matt, didn't you have a clip of somebody yelling at Gary?
I do.
Can we play that before we do a giveaway? We'll do this, then we'll do a little Q&A, and then we'll do a giveaway, guys. It doesn't feel like a bag of sand. Where's the clip? Somebody yelled at Gary, and it was great. Let's leave people on a happy note.
Yeah, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and he basically tells Gary that he's worthless right to his face.
Here we go.
More pressure coming across our northern border. We've arrested roughly 78 different nationalities coming across our northern border now. The biggest percentage of the individuals coming across our southern border or from Mexico. With that comes a lot more activity. We arrest a terrorist, one either on the watch list or a wanted terrorist on our northern border almost weekly. And and then we see a lot more drugs. Over the last year, we've apprehended enough fentanyl that would kill 17 million Americans on our northern border. That's an increase.
Enough fentanyl coming across the Canadian border to kill 17 million Americans.
We see it constantly increasing, and so the cooperation between us and Canada is vitally important. Because we've dealt with it. We know what's going to happen. We see the amount of increase of criminal activity that's happening, and we see the same techniques that are on the southern border that are moving to the northern border. When you have 5,400 miles with only less than 300 of it that's being patrolled on a daily basis, it's a tremendous amount of territory for the activity to take place. And since we're seeing it picked up, our biggest priority now is to have great partnerships with our friends to the north to be able to actively stop it before it grows to the point that it is.
Where is it?
Okay, get to where he yells at Gary.
When we first started fighting this issue in Mexico,
maybe it's not in this clip.
Really 4 heavy cartels.
Oh no! Don't make us watch a 5-minute clip if it's not here.
Maybe it was in another one. I'm sorry, guys. That's all I got.
Seriously, we just watched all that, and he doesn't yell at Gary.
Well, he's basically telling Gary he's useless at his job because Gary is our safety minister and the border is his area of responsibility. And there's, enough drugs, and they arrest a terrorist crossing the border every week. And they are funneling fentanyl across our border, which is, by the way, all of the flip-flop brigade.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great. I guess he was a little more politic.
Let me get this done. Jenny, becoming a new member of the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. Real Steve Jensen, $50 super towards the government grift tax payment fund. Steve, thank you so much. Steve, you're a great viewer. Always, Steve's helped this channel out so much. I appreciate it, Steve. Very generous. Helps us keep the lights on. That's what I always say, because keep in mind, folks, we're donating all of our shirt sales towards the referendum effort. We've donated to our vets. We've done a ton of donations and different things. And now I've donated roughly $15,000 to the government after doing our year end. So at some point I need to keep some of the money we make. I gotta keep the lights on. So it's always appreciated. Steve, thank you. I appreciate that.
You need lights because I'm going to be there in 2 weeks.
Yep. Let's do some Q&A. Let's get some Q&A.
All right. Like I said, we should just make the show officially 2 hours because it's 2 hours every week.
It's not going to be over the summer. When all these guys go on holidays, there's not going to be as much to cover. Make sure to put question, just like Unknown did here, in front of what you have to say. It's easier for us to find you. Do you now see that Pierre has always been just as worse as Mark Carney? I've been feeling that Pierre is a lot like a Democrat light, and he's also milquetoast. So I felt that way for a while, but I didn't feel that way until he actually called me and talked to me back in, what was it, September, October? Somewhere around there. Really disappointing. Really disappointing.
Yeah, our conservatives in this country would be liberals in any other country but this one. They agree with our Liberal Party on about 60 to 70% of policy. It's not even a real different choice.
No pants Fringe. I'm wearing shorts. I guess technically I'm not wearing pants.
You guys get to start a pool and guess whether I'm wearing pants or not. I will not reveal.
Jessica Hunter with the 139 super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Did somebody write a question up here? I thought somebody did.
There you go. Who can afford holidays? The government can, because those guys make a lot of money, and it's ours.
Can we have some more cowbell?
Guess what? I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
How's your wife's job search going, Derek? Well, she's Canadian and she's white. That should tell you about all you need to know. It's not going anywhere. Here's the thing. She's found jobs, but the jobs are like, oh, you used to work for $80,000 a year. Do you mind taking the same job for $50,000 and driving 40 minutes to and from? That's pretty much what she's found. What do you see happening for Kuzma or USMCA? Good question. I think, again, you saw Trump today say he'll probably sign it, but he'd prefer not to. I think what's going to happen is Mark Carney needs USMCA to go through in order for his deals with China to go through, because they were contingent on USMCA and American access. But I think what's going to happen is you'll see Trump try to squish in as much as he can to benefit America over Canada. And you'll have Mark Carney double backing, saying, well, we had to sign it. We needed a trade deal. We got the best deal out of anybody who had to sign trade deal. You know what he'll say. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think USMCA will get torn up altogether, but we're about to be bent over. And rightfully so. I'm not even mad about it. I'm not mad about it because it's our leadership that failed, not America. America gets taken advantage of. When you look at the dairy cartels, when you look at everything that America's had to endure from us, yeah, they deserve a break. I don't disagree with that.
Trump's going to bend Carney over and go, I'm going to Kuzma.
Do you still want the Starlink set up for July 1st? No, I won't. I might film a little content while I'm there. I will not be live streaming at the Whistle Stop July 1st. I'll tell you why. I'm going there July 1st for the viewers. I'm going there to be with you guys and hang out with you guys. And it's part of the reason Mrs. Fringe isn't coming to the Whistle Stop this year, because we brought the kids last year. And the problem is I'll take a few steps and people see me and they all crowd around and it ends up being like this. It's like a podcast. Somebody will ask questions and I'll stand there talking with people for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then they'll disperse and I'll take another few steps and talk to people again that were waiting to talk outside of that group. And it kind of repeats that way throughout the day. So if I was live streaming, it would be really unfair to those watching just to see me yip yapping with people the entire time. and I wouldn't be able to give the people at the whistle stop my full attention. So,
We're gonna talk
no,
to people live, but luckily for you, me and Mike will be there to take some of the heat off you, I guess.
I'll bring my camera set up and maybe film some content, put out like a best of video, maybe like a wrap up of everything that went on down there. If I can get that kind of content and maybe do a video of it. But no, I won't need the Starlink. I won't be broadcasting. I would expect some people are probably out celebrating the long weekend as well. So hopefully that's happening. What else do we have here? Why'd you censor my question? I didn't censor anything. I don't censor anything on this channel. If the mods censored somebody, there was probably a reason, but YouTube, it's their AI. It does a lot of
YouTube does it
self-censoring.
automatically. On Monday, I was trying to super chat to you and Mike, and I was talking about smacking Danielle in the face with 1.5 million votes. I had to reword it. It wouldn't let me say smack her in the face.
Question, how the F did this country go from being able to track people on social insurance numbers in the 60s and 70s and 80s to the crap show that we now have? Well, it's just more power. They want more power and less restrictions around their authoritarianism.
Any more?
I just turned down an instructor job at SAPE because my family can't afford to live on $86,000. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? A couple of years ago, you tell somebody I make almost $100K a year, people would be like, damn, you make a good living. Yeah. Not when you get 40% of it to the bloody government. What do you think about the new Japanese car dealerships and the exception to labor laws that they're supposedly going to get? I don't know enough about that.
I don't know anything about that. I hadn't heard.
I don't know anything about that. I'll look into it. Have you heard that Danielle wants to reduce the Alberta seniors benefit? Yes, I have heard about that. I was going to make a video about it, but there really wasn't enough to talk about yet because they really haven't got into it yet. But again, I've got my eye on it. When more develops, I'll let you know. Do you really think Albertans will vote for independence or turn into cowards like people out east? You know, it's funny. I had this conversation with some of my buddies last night when we were chatting about it because they were asking me, they all live, well, most of them live outside of Alberta. They said, what do you think about the October vote? Like, what do you genuinely think is going to happen? Here's what I said. I think that my hopes are, with all the nonsense that's going on, when you look at the censorship laws, when you look at the technical recession, everything that's happening, I think we're going to be in an okay state with the silent majority to get over the 50% mark in October. I think that we still have to get out and campaign. We still have to get out and make our case. I think Keith Wilson's going to help with that with his white paper.
I love that name.
White paper. But he's I think it's going to start answering some questions people have, and I think we're going to get over that 50% mark. It's going to give us the one thing that we need. You know, people were saying, well, what if that means that your independence vote is delayed by a year, 2 years? I said, even if it's delayed 2 years, it's the one thing we don't have yet that we'd be guaranteed: time. We would have time to educate, time to research, time to talk to people, time to really get people on board. Because if we're going to do this, folks, I'd rather do it right and win than rush it through and lose. Think about the setbacks if we lose the referendum. If you lose a referendum, like Quebec lost their last referendum in the 90s, and they're just gearing up for another one. We don't want that in Alberta. So if they said, well, it's going to be delayed about a year and a half, okay, good. That gives us, 16 months to really get people's questions answered, get the cities on board, let Canada deteriorate a little bit more. I understand there's people that say, I can't let it get that far. Hopefully some things come into place to make life easier for people until then. However, because don't forget that if we win that vote in October, that's a guarantee of a second referendum vote because Danielle will be gone and somebody who stands with independence will be replacing her. Somebody asked earlier, who are you favoring to do that? I don't know. I don't know who's going to replace her. But they'll elect somebody through the board of the UCP that stands behind the independence vote. Hopefully we could get enough people on our side to win that second vote. It's a win regardless, folks. And here's what I want people to remember. If you get over 35% in October, even if the independence vote failed, that doesn't mean it's the end of independence. It just means because I think, again, the genie's out of the bottle. I don't think there's any stopping this. But what it does mean is if you get over 35% of the vote, I think you have a strong argument for independence in the West. Because they've been saying it's polling below 20%. If you get close to 40, that sends a message to Ottawa. That lets them know that temperatures are rising in Alberta, that by the time we get around to another referendum, and we could get another one in a couple of years if we had the right people behind it. So it doesn't mean the end if we lose. It means that we still need strong numbers. I still believe in my heart of hearts that we have enough to get over 50% because it's non-binding. And that's going to give us the very needed time that's necessary in order to win. Andrew, thank you for becoming a new member of the Patriots Club. Let me clear up our last super chat here from Steve Jensen, $5. Choosing to leave has consequences. Choosing to stay has consequences. People need to ask themselves the consequences of staying. That's a very good way of stating it, Steve. And that is the one thing people, because there are people like Danielle who say, well, it's going to cost X amount of dollars to leave. It's going to, you might post a deficit. Okay, but if we post a deficit, we can get ourselves out of that. Right? Like, what's the cost of staying? More poor people, less services, more immigrants, less jobs, no growth in the oil sector. Like, there are negatives to staying as well. You have to outweigh the good versus the bad and see where you end up on the scale. That's kind of where I stand. But nonetheless, folks, we're already at the 2 hour.
Feelings?
To hell with your feelings. Let's get on with a giveaway, shall we?
Let's spin it.
Let's do a giveaway. Let me bring up the wheel. But keep in mind, folks, if you want to help the channel out and if you want to be a human billboard this summer, I would recommend heading over to the store. I'm not sure if they're going to be doing any more sales in the near future, but any that do come up, I'll let you know. Head over to the store, grab our Alberta First, send the message shirts, be a human billboard around this summer. 10 reasons on the back Alberta would benefit from leaving Canada. You can grab your shirt in the store right now. Look, they've even got Alberta Blue, and it looks so good. John talking to Albertans has this, and it looks really good on him. Go and pick one up in the store. Hit the shop button and grab your shirts. Support the channel. Again, all proceeds are going towards the referendum effort anyways. But it's good to see our name out there. It's good to see our product out there. Go and grab it. Helps us, helps the effort. Even if you're in the U.S.
A great many of those at the whistle stop.
Yes, even if you're in the U.S., go pick one up because you can wear it around in the United States supporting what Alberta is doing, and you've technically donated to the referendum at that point legally. We did it legally. Okay, the wheel is done. Jessica Hunter. Is Jessica still in the chat?
Jessica
Hunter. Let's see if Jessica pops up in the chat. We'll give it a minute. There is a delay, so we'll just give it a sec. Jessica Hunter.
Come on down.
With the new license coming in on July 1st, do you think this could prelude to digital ID? I don't really know these days. I don't know. Is Jessica Hunter really not here anymore? Well, I can't at Jessica? Oh, that's too bad.
We did go from almost 1,200 down to 949 now, I guess, because people are like, the show's over.
End of the show.
Yeah.
End of the show. We'll take off. If I could get jerseys made, I would.
Who leaves before the giveaway?
Well, their loss, I guess. I'll give it 10 more seconds, and then we'll. If Jessica Hunter doesn't pop back in, people are saying they can't add her.
Yeah, if you can't add her, that means she's gone.
Yeah.
All right.
2 hours is too long for some guys. Don't do that. I hate it when people are like, I can't watch this long. Please don't make it. It's like I can't run the channel around one person.
And then people say when we cut it at like an hour and a half, or if even an hour and 20, if we're early, then they say it wasn't enough. So what do you want from us here?
You're never gonna win. You're never gonna win.
She's here. Where is she?
Is she here?
I don't say. I'm scrolling.
Started the wheel. She's here?
Where? Tell her to say something. Oh, there she
is. She's here. Okay. There. Oh, you're lucky. Holy, talk about getting right in at the line. Oh my God. I was literally about to hit spin. Okay, Jessica, congratulations. You're tonight's giveaway winner. Head over to the shop, pick out, you've won one of our Alberta First Send the Message shirts. Pick out your size, color, and leave all your shipping information. All of your shipping information, including a phone number. They'll need that in case you're not home when they come to drop it off. Send an email to unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. I'll put it up on screen for you. Unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. After you go to the shop and you get the shirt picked out, again, color, size, and all your shipping information, send it to me at this email address within 24 hours. And I will get one sent to you as soon as possible. And you can be a walking billboard for Alberta independence. So congratulations to Jessica, and thank you to everybody who came out in the stream tonight, everybody who joined us, everybody for your support.
Everybody who made it to the end of the 2 hours.
Everybody who made it to the end. How do I get to the store to purchase a shirt? Oh, God, you guys are so needy. I'll put a link in the chat. I'll put a link in the chat, but you can also go to one of our videos and just hit the shop button. It's silly they don't put the shop button in on live streams. There's the website right there, unacceptable-fringe.myspreadshot.com. You can head over there and grab a shirt from there, and or you can go to one of our videos that isn't live and just hit the products or the shop button. It'll take you straight to the store, and you can find it there. Congratulations again to Jessica on that shirt. Guys, join me live Friday with Mrs. Fringe. Check out the channel tomorrow. I'll have more content talking about digital ID in Canada and our voices being suppressed. I know we talked about some of it tonight, but please check out that content. It helps get it out in the algorithm. It helps support the channel. Leave a comment and a like. That helps us more than anything on those videos. From myself, from Matt, from everybody here at the Fringe, have yourselves a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.